Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. This morning we have two co-hosts. We got Lauren LaRosa and Glasses Malone. Now let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ Envy. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning to my homie Glasses.
Hey,
What's up, homie?
What's up with it, man?
What's happening, baby? And Charlamagne the God.
Good morning.
Now let's jump right in with sports tonight. NFL, Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Buffalo Bills. That happens at 8:15. Last night, NBA, I know the Nets lost last night. I know the Knicks lost last night. The Spurs lost, too. What's the young man's name?
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. He I think he dropped 15 last night. You could tell he was a little nervous. I watched some of the game. He was a little nervous, though.
First game,
yeah.
Oh, that's why he's trending on Twitter. Every time I see sports names on Twitter, I'm always confused why. But.
Yeah, I think he scored 15. He was a little nervous. You could tell.
He's at the point already where people already want to see him fail. We are such a strange society.
Oh, he must be doing good then.
Of course.
Yeah,
he's projected to be like the next guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like people want to see him do bad.
It's the defense for Wemby. That's the thing. If you watch the game, the way he plays defense, guarding the wing, guarding the center, he's super dope. So even though he's struggling offensively in the first game, his defense was stellar.
Yeah, he was blocking everything that
and that's
came
really
in
where he's going to be great. 6 blocks. I think he should be 4 to 6 blocks a game. Easy.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, Tez, where we start, man? This horrible mass shooting in Maine.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that quickly. I hate to have to bring the bad news, but it is front page news. Wednesday night, at least 22 people were killed in a mass shooting at a restaurant in a bowling alley in Lewiston, Maine. Now, according to multiple law enforcement sources, another 50 or 60 people were injured. An intensive manhunt is underway for the suspect. Let's take a listen.
Currently searching for a Robert R. Card, 4/4 of 1983 of Bowden. Card is considered armed and dangerous. He is a person of interest, however, and that's what we'll label him at moving forward until that changes. If people see him, they should not approach Card or make contact with him in any way.
Now, as you heard, again, they're looking for Robert Card, C-A-R-D. And no, it kind of sounds like car, but it's actually Card. He's 40 years old. He was a firearms instructor and believed to be in the Army Reserve. Now, they circulated a document to law enforcement saying that he was committed to a mental health facility for about 2 weeks in the summer of 2023. It did not provide any additional details about his condition, but it said that he was hearing voices and was threatening to shoot a military base. So according to the gun violence archive, this will make 565 mass shootings reported across the United States just this year alone.
But what can we say that hasn't been said about mass shootings, already? I feel like we've said it all before, but clearly in this case, this brother this should have never been let out of the mental health facility. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder when they let him out, did they take his weapons from him since he was a firearm instructor? Because I'm sure he had a bunch of firearms.
Right, but how can you really tell, what you're taking from him?
That's true,
like you said, he might have quite a few, right. Obviously. So we'll continue to stay, on top of this. This is still developing, as we're talking now. So things will change. I encourage people to just keep looking, look at the latest information. And as they get more information out, I'll bring it back to you.
Yeah, they were telling people to shelter in place if you live in the area. And they were saying, please do not approach him, even if you have a weapon, because, of course, he's a firearm instructor. So he's been shooting for a living. So he knows how to shoot. He knows how to defend himself. So just leave it to the authorities.
That's so scary.
It's so scary, especially being that this man has mental health issues, but even with that, you still have to defend yourself and protect yourself. Even though you know the mental condition that he's in, you still got to defend yourself.
Right. All right. Well, that is front page news. Thank you, Taz.
Absolutely.
We'll see you in a couple minutes. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. We got special guest host Lauren LaRosa and Glasses Malone here, but phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have Lauren LaRosa and Glasses Malone, our guest co-host today. And let's get back to some front page news. What up, Tiz?
What's going on, DJ Envy? Good morning, Lauren. Good morning to my homeboy in real life, Glasses Malone.
Good morning, Tiz.
Peace, Ted.
Now, NFL quickly. Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Buffalo Bills at 8:15. Of course, you got to watch that on Amazon Prime. Now, let's jump right back into it. We're talking about the elected Speaker of the House.
Yeah, finally, they have elected a Speaker of the House. 51-year-old, deeply conservative Representative Mike Johnson of Louisiana was elected yesterday as the 56th Speaker of the House of Representatives, putting an end to the 3 weeks of chaos that left the chamber without a leader and put Republican divisions on display. Here is what he had to say.
Last thing I'm going to say is a message to the rest of the world. They have been watching this drama play out for a few weeks. We've learned a lot of lessons, but you know what? Through adversity, it makes you stronger. And we want our allies around the world to know that this body of lawmakers is reporting again to our duty stations. Let the enemies of freedom around the world hear us loud and clear. The People's House is back in business.
So what does this mean?
Well, it just means that they have a Speaker of the House. They finally have elected somebody after kicking out Kevin McCarthy, who they did not have a plan for, obviously. 3 weeks of gangbanging. Since we got Glass and Malone in the house, it was 3 weeks of gangbanging that was going on. So now they have elected who they have in charge. And Donald Trump says he thinks Johnson is going to make a fantastic speaker. I want you to hear a few things about Mike Johnson, because a lot of people don't know who he is. So check this out on a couple of things you need to know about who will be running the House of Representatives.
A few things to know about him. Mike Johnson has a solidly conservative voting record, scores very highly on the scorecards of right-wing groups. He voted against the recent stopgap bill that Kevin McCarthy put on the floor to avert a government shutdown, voted with many Republicans on that measure. He's an animated opponent of legal abortion as well as LGBT rights, introduced a number of bills to that effect. He came in with Trump's approval, with Donald Trump's approval, sort of. Trump said he wasn't endorsing Johnson before the vote, but said Republicans should just go ahead and elect him and get this done. And after he was ultimately elected to the speakership, Trump put out a statement congratulating him. Johnson has also gotten some criticism for his role in promoting conspiracy theories and election denial claims, specifically crafting an argument that a lot of Republicans rallied around to object to certifying some pro-Biden electors. That's been a real focal point of the early criticism from Democrats. He also, back in the mid-November of 2020, promoted some conspiracy theories about Hugo Chavez and Dominion voting systems potentially rigging the election that were widely discredited at the time. And finally, he's only been in Congress for about 7 years or so. He's a fresh face, not very experienced, and it turns out that's exactly what Republicans wanted.
Is this guy Johnson going to have any real power? Because the whole thing about McCarthy was he was a puppet. He had absolutely zero power, and folks said McCarthy, ruined himself by being a Trumper. So what's different about Johnson? Because he sounds like the same to me.
Yeah, absolutely sound like the same. That's why Trump is making it known. Yeah, he's going to be a fantastic speaker. So he's clearly was in support of Trump and said that he won the election. So that tells you exactly, what's getting ready to happen. I don't think, unfortunately, a lot will be done because, again, he's far right. He has to be able to work with Democrats as well. We are in the middle of a government shutdown. People keep forgetting that it's on pause. So there's a lot still to be worked out in November. I don't want to say that the future looks bleak, but it is what it is. I don't know how much will actually get accomplished, with this guy, but he was able to convince everybody to vote for him. So we'll see, Charlamagne.
All right. Well, that is Front Page News. Thank you, Tez.
Absolutely.
And make sure you subscribe to Tesla and Figaro's podcast, the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, and follow at Tesla and Figaro on all social media platforms.
All right. Now, when we come back, the City Girls will be joining us. Their new album, Raw, came out last week, and we're gonna kick it with JT and Carisha when we come back, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club on BET.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.